Welcome everyone to the last possible minute to set up your planner. So, you were going to set up your planner way long ago, but December went like that, and now here you are in the very last week of the year, or perhaps even in the new year already by the time you're watching this, without a single drop of ink in your 2024 planner. I know time goes fast and we are all really busy people, so this is a video for those of you who have waited until the last possible minute to set up your planner, and this is your guide. I'm going to walk you through a very simple and easy planner setup with minimal supplies so that you can get started in your planner right away. Step one is to gather your supplies. You are going to need a planner, obviously. This is mine, it's the Take a Note mini planner, and this is what I will be setting up today. You're also going to need a writing pen for all your writing. This is the Uniball Jetstream in 0.38. You're also probably going to want a pencil just in case you want to plot things out before you narrow them down in pen, and you're going to need a ruler or straight edge of some kind, or not if you're gifted with the ability to draw straight lines. Maybe you don't need it. And the queen of this setup is going to be your sticky notes. So make sure you grab those. These are just small ones that I got off of Amazon for like no dollars. They came in a huge pack. So these are what I'm going to be using for this video. And bonus, if you like to get fancy, grab some pens like a brush pen for headings and a highlighter or light colored brush marker for those accent colors. But these are totally optional. You don't need them necessarily. Once you have everything, we are going to move to step 2, which is to determine how we are going to be using our planner. And it's time for those sticky notes, baby. So, take your sticky notes. The first thing you're going to write on your sticky note is your planner's purpose. This can be super simple. We just need something to guide us as we set up the planner. So this is where you write like health planner or finance planner or hobby planner. General productivity is okay too. For me, this particular planner is going to be a mix of things. I intend to do some pre-planning in here, possibly goal planning, but mostly we're just going to have fun. I have a main daily planner already that I will be in every day, so my take a note is not going to be that. But for you, you might be writing everyday productivity planner on this sticky note, which is also fine. If you, like many people in the planner community, are wondering what the hell pre-planning is, isn't it just planning? To that I say, debate for another video. But what I'm using this for is to indicate that I'm going to be in this planner maybe once a week at the beginning of the week to just lay everything out and get a feel for what my week looks like upcoming. And then I'm pretty much not going to be in it because once I write everything out, it's much more committed to my memory. So I really only need to write it out once. And in that way, I can write it out once, have fun with it, make it look cute, and get back to my other task management systems and my daily planner for the actual bread and butter of getting things done throughout the year. So that's how I'm using pre-planning, just in case anyone is curious about that controversial topic. Once you have your sticky notes, we are going to open the planner up to the inside front cover and just stick it in here. This is going to remind you every time you open your planner what it's for until it becomes muscle memory, and then you can remove it. And it's also going to aid you in this particular exercise because if we are setting up this planner, we want to know why we're setting it up, what it's going to be for, so we don't add any unnecessary fluff to our last minute setup. Okay, now take the rest of your sticky notes and we're going to map out the rest of your planner. Start writing out the things that you need on your planner. Remember your planner's purpose. This should guide you. Try to relate your items back to your planner purpose somehow. So with that, my list is going to be planning ahead weekly, planning ahead monthly, memory keeping, and sleep tracking. If you're wondering how sleep tracking relates to these, it's because I find sleep tracking just very fun, maybe a nerdy thing, but that's just how I am, okay? So sleep tracking goes in my planner too. If you are setting up a finance planner, these items might be things like monthly breakdown or spending tracker or something like that. If you find yourself writing down a lot of items, stuff that you're like, maybe I want to have that in my planner, maybe I don't. It's okay to create groups of items, one group for stuff that you actually need and will be using on day one of your planner, and one group for things that you want to have or think would be nice to have. I actually do have a few things that I think would be nice to have in this planner, or things that I think I might someday use this planner for, even though it's not going to be what I use the planner for right away in the new year. So I'm going to go ahead and write those down as well. So in my non-essentials, I have content planning, daily to-do lists, and goal planning. Now I have these on uniquely colored sticky notes. They are different colors from my essentials, which is going to help me tell them apart. But if you only have one color of sticky note,
just draw a little star next to your priority items so that you can remember which is which when you're going through and plotting these out in your planner.
I want to hop in here and thank this week's sponsor, which is Blinkist. Obviously, we're speeding through our planner setup in this video, but if you want some help speeding through your reading list this year, Blinkist has your back. Blinkist takes over 6,600 non-fiction books and boils them down into blinks, or summaries of the book's key ideas that you can listen to or read in about 15 minutes. One of my favorite books is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've talked about this book before on my channel, huge game changer for my productivity, and I've been wanting to revisit it lately, but I just don't have time to sit down and crack open a book that I've already read. But with Blinkist, I was able to just throw on my headphones and listen to the key points all while doing my dishes. They also have this cool thing called Blinkist Spaces, which allows you to create a shared space with friends and family and group titles from the Blinkist library right in the app. You can share titles on a specific topic or just favorites from your recent finds. And the best part is any members of your Blinkist space can access all of those titles even if they don't have a Blinkist premium subscription. So head to my link in the description to try Blinkist free for 7 days and get 25% off a Blinkist premium subscription. That'll be in the description box below, so go click my link down there. Okay, let's get back to our last minute planner setup.
Step 3 is taking all of your sticky notes and putting them in your planner to plot them out. So I'm going to start with the stuff that I need and put them in this planner. As I'm flipping through, I'm looking at these and wondering what would be good places to put them. So I think planning ahead in the month is best on a monthly page like this. Probably be what I use the calendar portion for. Not really sure what I'm going to use all this side space for, but we'll get to that. Planning ahead in a weekly sense, definitely going to be the weekly pages themselves. So I'm going to go to the first week in the planner, which is actually not, oh my God, monthlies go on and on in this planner, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first week in my planner and just put plan ahead weekly. And then I'll get to that in whatever way I get to that. I do want to do some memory keeping. I think I'm probably going to be doing that in the weekly spread as well. So my planning ahead, this is a 24-hour clock. I will probably only plan ahead until like 9 or 10 p.m. And then this bottom part I have for memory keeping, which is pretty good little spot for a memory. And then sleep tracking, I really like doing that on the weekly level as well, although it would be nice to see it on the monthly level, and I am trying to plan my sleep on a monthly, or like do a sleep tracker on a monthly level. I'm trying to do that in another planner, but I think I want to do it in the weeks, so I think I want to use this space over here for that. Either way, it's only for the week, so I think I can manage to put this here, and then if I don't like it, I can always change it for next week. Now you can start placing the sticky notes that you think you might someday like in your planner. So you can place these anywhere you'd like. For example, most planners have a couple of blank pages at the back. Maybe your content planner is actually a spread you're going to draw, and so you put that in the back of your planner. Maybe not. You can also put it in a spread you already have a sticky note. So in my monthly section, I do really like the idea of having sort of content planning and goal planning on either side here. So what content I want to publish for the month on YouTube in this little box, and then the breakdown of what I need to do for my goals every single week in these associated boxes here. So I'm going to just stick those two things right there. And then for my daily to-do list, this is something I may use this planner for, but I also may not. So instead of going into my weekly and just placing it right away with all these other things, I am going to choose a week that is about 3 months down the line in March, and I'm going to place daily to-do list there. The reason I'm doing this, you can do this however many weeks ahead you want. Like if you want to try a different layout, you know, in the next month, you can just skip a month ahead. I'm doing about 3 months because it takes me about 3 months to get used to something, and then I feel like I want to change. So in about 3 months, I'm going to be used to using this to plan ahead my week. If that's not really working, I will have this sticky note here to remind me once I get to March that I have already thought of something else to do with these weekly columns, and it is a daily to-do list. I think I'm actually going to do a similar thing with my plan aheads, my goal planning and my content planning. Also, I just noticed that this is in December, but I'm actually not going to be using this planner until January, so quick switch. I think I'm going to do something similar with my yellow sticky notes here, my non-priority stuff here, because I know know to get this planner up and running, I really need to see my month at a glance, and I really don't need to do these two things right away. They're not essential. It's just a someday maybe idea. So instead of putting them here, I'm going to put them in February. And then once I've taken the time to think about my goals a little bit more, think about my content a little bit more for the new year, I am going to be able, when I get to February, to flesh out these columns and practice with it. If you want, you can also do something like this where you know you're going to be planning ahead in the monthly section, and maybe you only want to take on one new thing in your monthly in February. So maybe that's goal planning, and then content planning I don't add to my system until March, right? Because these are things that you don't even really need to set up right now. Like, I don't really have my goals set up in place in a way where I could, from the jump, start writing out the weekly actions that I need to take. I don't have my content set up enough for January right now where I could immediately solidify what the 5 videos I'm going to post in January are going to be. So putting them later is just a reminder that once I have this, I can add this in this space. And because these things are not really a priority for me right now in setting up these planners, I don't need to have them as a priority item. So we have our planner loosely mapped out, and it is going to be for fun and pre-planning. And then as we flip through, we can see that what we need to set it up right away is a monthly plan ahead, a monthly look ahead. And then we go to the weeks and we see we need a plan ahead, we need to set up a sleeping tracker, and we need to give ourselves some space for memory keeping. This is great. But after all this, if a section isn't filled, guess what? You don't have to use it. Look at this section in the beginning of the take a note planner. This is a section unique to this planner that has every single month with a individual checkbox, 2 individual lines of checkboxes for each month. I have no idea how to use this spread. I don't know why it exists. I haven't seen examples that I like. I have no idea how to use this spread. So I'm just not going to use this page. There is no sticky note on the page, and that is okay. If I end up needing a space to track something in this manner, I can always come back to this page, maybe cover up the months that I didn't track or backfill them or whatever I want to do. But we are doing this at the last minute here. We are doing this the easy way to get us up and running with our new planners as soon as possible. And the easy way is not giving yourself extra homework just because you think every single page in your planner needs to get used. If you don't have a reason to use it, don't use it. The same thing is true for the yearly section. For me, I always struggle with how to use these yearly pages in the beginning of a planner, so I almost never use them. And I have to be okay with the fact that the bulk of my planner, the bulk of what I'm going to get out of my planner is in these weekly pages. I'm going to use them a lot, most likely. And these pages at the beginning, maybe I come back, write a memory, maybe I come back, write a word of the month, maybe I decorate it somehow, memory keep in it somehow, have fun in it somehow later, and I don't do anything with it right now because it's not really relevant to what I am trying to do, which is to get my planner set up for the new year. So if you don't have a reason to use it, don't use it. You can always come back later. And lastly, the last step, you're going to take your pen and simply fill out what you can right now for January. This is really simple. Take what you know concretely that you need, so those blue sticky notes that we talked about, and start setting it up. I'm going to do my monthly section right now. Okay, so that's my monthly section planned ahead. I love seeing this like this because I can see just how much I have going on in the month of January. I have a ton of birthdays, and then also my anniversary with my partner Tim, jury duty. I have a lot going on. So this is going to help me when I look ahead into January for what I'm planning, what I'm taking on, to know that I have a lot going on in that month. And then in the weekly section, let's set this up as well. This is where my pencil is going to be coming in because I'm going to need to count boxes and lines and all that kind of stuff. Oh, and my handy ruler. Ugh, I love that January 1st starts on a Monday. It's just so beautiful. Okay, this is what my week will loosely look like when I am planning for it in the first week of January, which is next week. For you, you might be, plotting out February or whatever, whenever you are setting this up. I have set this up super loosely. It is the first week of the year for me, so there's not a lot going on. You can see that my Monday has like nearly nothing. When I'm on Monday, I'll probably come in here and plot out what I actually did or what I need to do. You can see on Tuesday, I've written out laundry because I will need to do laundry on Tuesday for the coming week. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I have my work blocked out, as well as I have a meeting on this morning, so I will be doing that. Again, not much going on Saturday and Sunday right now, but this is the basic way that I usually plot out my weeks. I will do little arrows and little headings and just note where I am at what time. Again, it's the first week of the year, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of stuff except going to work for those other 3 days. But I did also set up a memories block here so I can keep track of some highlights from each day on each sort of the time I would normally be sleeping in the 24-hour clock. I've also noted when I'm off of with work. I'm gonna have vacation. And then on the sidebar here, I have sort of like a 1 day each thing. I'm not sure what the second half of the week is really gonna hold for me, so I don't have a 1 day each thing or a 1 day, one thing. But you can see I have New Year's Day for the first, I have getting ready for the week, and then I have back in the office. And then this is what my sleep tracker will look like. Obviously, I have not slept at all this week because this week has not happened yet, but I just did it in pencil really quick so you guys could see what I intend for it to look like, which is it's going to take sort of this section, which is sectioned off in this particular planner, and I'm gonna have 4, 6, 8 here, and then I'm just gonna be sort of mapping how many hours of sleep I get. I almost never get less than 6 hours, so maybe I will adjust this for future weeks, but I am aiming for 8, so a straight line across this right here is actually what I truly do want, but for the sake of demonstration, I have a squiggly line there. And that covers all of my sticky notes. This planner is now ready for me to use. It was actually so easy to set up and so easy to do. If you are not crazy like me, maybe you don't need a bunch of sticky notes, but if you plan with sticky notes ahead of time, you can really easily see where everything is going, and it just makes it that much easier when you go in there with your pen or your pencil or whatever tools you're using to plot out what you're actually doing and how you actually want your planner to look. And as I said before, I'm just leaving the rest of the sticky notes in there. My goal plan, my content plan, my one that I have in March about daily lists. I'm just leaving these in here because I'm gonna see them someday, and that's enough for me. Sometime in the future, not immediate. If you didn't get to setting any sort of priority items up that you had that you thought you really need to set up, it's okay. You can still start using your planner even though, like, maybe you forgot to write out a sleep tracker or something. It's gonna be fine. Your planner is a living document, so you're gonna just need to get it up and running so that you can be in it and start using it and start being productive. In this last minute setup, we are just doing enough to get by, and then we're gonna let things naturally evolve. For some of you, that may look like a lot more setup than I did. For some of you, that looks like very little setup, like what I did. Either way, it's enough to get you started, enough to get you in the planner, and enough to get you thinking about what your next steps look like and what your plans look like for the immediate future. Like I said, it's a living document. It needs to live and breathe, so let it. Just start using it the best you can, and everything is gonna work out.
Of course, if you still need help figuring out what your productivity system looks like so you can figure out where your planner fits into it, I have a whole video right here next to my head on the screen about decluttering your productivity system that will help you out. Thank you so much for watching, for being subscribed, for being awesome. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.